Greetings, brothers and sisters. Today I'm here to do for you all a review of three particular elixirs. Now I unboxed these particular elixirs and started using them going for about a couple months now. I wanted to do a review. I wanted to do a review right away and dive into it. However, it didn't go down like that. And I've been using these three elixirs for quite a while in almost every spell and ritual I've done up to that point. Well, I've done up to this point and continue to use them too. So let's get into it. Let's get into the exact elixirs that I'm talking about here. The elixirs that I am speaking about, I'll be showing you right now. So let's dive into them. These elixirs are made by Barbie Garrett, okay? And I believe that also J.S. Garrett himself helped in this process or contributed to this process. And I do believe that. I haven't got confirmation on that, but I do believe that just by the sheer power of these elixirs, it would make sense that both of them contributed together into concocting these. So let's touch on the first one, shall we? Which is Slut Water, okay? And right now, I've actually had two of these. Okay, this is the new batch I had from Barbie Garrett, and I'm going to show you the old batch right now. As you can see, this is the old batch. This is before she actually had gotten the label that she's using now, the new and improved one, which I'm a big fan of. So this was the Slut Water I had off her. First off, you can see how much I have used this, okay? Now, there are many benefits to using this particular elixir. Many benefits to using this elixir. However, I'm going to talk about my actual impressions and how I have used the Slut Water elixir. So the way that I started using it was I would implement it in works of attraction, in lust, and in love workings. So workings that I would do for other people. Particularly my clients, I would add this into the ritual to significantly enhance the working at hand. And I have to say it's been amazing so far. I've used it to anoint actual tools. I've used Slut Water as an actual offering to the spirits, and it's even an additional source of power. Now, along with this, you also have written instructions on a ritual which I believe is called Claiming Your Own Sluthood. The word slut water is, the title for this is quite interesting, but when you think of slut, it's sort of a demonizing term, right? That a woman who embraces her sexuality, that embraces her beauty and embraces her body is demonized and is called a slut. And, you know, that's just not right. It's really not right. And, you know, it goes into many different areas that slut was a derogatory term or a demonizing term, and now that term is literally being used for one's own liberation. Think about it like a demon. Okay, demon is almost like a demonizing term to these daemons or intelligent spirits. However, now they wear that name with pride, and it's a liberating factor for them. And everybody that uses Slut Water or does the ritual of claiming their own sluthood, they take upon that title as a slut, and they embrace that, which is awesome. And for those, I can't describe it as well as Barbie can. You can go check out a few videos on that and why that particular name. And for those that purchase it, you'll have the whole information in there. I used this ritual along with the Slut Water. It was a spiritual bathing ritual. I used it and there were profound effects from unpacking a lot of trauma that was deep within me that I wasn't even aware of. I was never aware of it. And an actual interesting thing was that my wife also performed this ritual. And my wife doesn't do rituals. She just doesn't do rituals. However, she felt compelled to do this ritual. And since she has, I can report that her actual body in general seems to be a lot better than what it was. And what I mean by that is her health. She was in a bad place in her health, and I've seen significant results of her progressing forward and healing, as well as getting over insecurities. So during that time, she was very insecure. No matter what you tell your wife, they will always be insecure. It doesn't matter what you say. However, she's gotten past that. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times I've seen her just walk around the house, no clothes on, and she's just happy. And, you know, that's a great thing to see. As well as she also reported phenomena while performing this ritual. She actually would see visual lights flashing in the air from the steam of the bath. She would see weird things in the bath. When she would get out of there, she would talk about feeling energy, spiritual energy, for the very first time. So this was a mundane person having these very potent effects just from this one elixir. So yeah, I've used this elixir for many different things, empowering my own rituals, you know, using it for love work, using it for beautification, increasing my libido, you name it. I've been working with this elixir and I love it. It's just one of my favorites, if not my favorite. So let's get into the second one, shall we? I believe I've got them down here. The second one is Apocalypse Water. Okay, now a very, very interesting elixir to say the very least. Apocalypse Water, the way I personally started using it was I used it to conjure up storms of change. What does that mean? Well, I literally call forth the storm that emanates from this elixir. And it does, it calls upon these certain powers that are contained within the elixir. It calls upon Baal's power, you know, the storm god. And he rouses up storms in the ritual or in the spell of actual power. And that is pushed out into the world in accordance with the operator's will to bring about not only the goal at hand, but to push extra power behind that goal, extra power behind your spells, extra power behind your rituals. So I've used it for that. Not only that, but I've also used Apocalypse Water in my baneful workings. Many of you know I have my own baneful elixir, which I use, and many people are using it now and having profound effects. But I also use this in creating candles, as well as anointing candles, just to call upon the storm, but not as a storm of change per se, but the apocalypse, actually calling upon the storm of the apocalypse to cause discord, to cause chaos, to cause mayhem in my target's life. And I've already seen results from that. And I'll use this in accordance with my baneful elixir to give the operation a kick. And this also acts once again as a externalized source of ritual power. So this is also going to increase the power of all rituals and all spells and concoctions that you're making. Of course, once it's activated and charged with the correct intention, just like the Slut Water previously. Okay, so that's my review on that. I love this elixir. I've actually used, as you can see, a fundamental lot. I'm going to comment here because something happened with this elixir. This is how powerful the storm of Baal or the storm of Baal is. Okay, I haven't dropped this elixir once. Actually, this elixir, this is the very first time I put it on the ground. Normally, it's on my ritual circle if I'm on the ground, but this is the first time it's ever been on the ground. I want you to look closely here, and I don't know if you can see this, but there are tiny, well, not tiny, there is a huge slit coming all the way across this. And the reason why was because I wanted to actually test the actual amount of power within this elixir. So what I did was, when I activated it, I actually focused on Baal himself, on Baal himself. And I focused on his power, not only the power of Barbie and the ritual used to concoct this elixir, but his power within the elixir. And I wanted to increase it and increase it and increase it, you know? That's what we're doing through activation. We're actually activating dormant energies which are put in here. And as I was increasing it, it cracked. The actual glass itself cracked. And for those of you that may say, well, I can't see a crack, dude, are you lying to me? The only reason that this isn't leaking right now is because this is squeezed on tightly. If I actually slowly, I'm going to do this slowly, if I actually slowly release the cap, watch what happens. Can you see that? So right here, you've got the actual slice all the way through it. That's it. You can see it right there. So it actually cracked all the way through. The only reason you can't see it unless I tighten it is because when I tighten it, the glass squeezes together and compacts it all back as one. So yeah, the power of this, unfathomable, to literally shatter the glass. It didn't smash the glass, it cracked the glass. Okay, it cracked the glass. So there's a big crack all the way through it now. And I like that. I actually like that because to me, every time I feel and I run my fingers across that crack, or I just look at it, it just reminds me of the raging, wrathful power that is contained herein. For an elixir to literally do that, you're talking some serious power there. Okay, so the third one, which is fairly new, actually I got this same time I got the Apocalypse Water. No, tell a lie, I had a small version of the Apocalypse Water first. It was in a tiny container like this. And I had that with the first Slut Water that I used. And both those elixirs together work amazing. They work amazing. The actual Apocalypse Water seems to intensify all the power of the Slut Water. And actually when you use all three of these together, it does empower each of them. So this is, let me read this. This is Asaruludu's Perfect Protection Elixir. Okay, for those of you that don't know Asaruludu, Asaruludu is literally the greatest, one of the greatest spirits when it comes to your own magical and spiritual protection, as well as physical protection. Okay, he is referred to as he who holds the flaming sword, the spirit that gives perfect defense onto the magical operator, onto the sorcerer, the magi, the magician, etc. Okay, and this, when I first used it, I've used this in my wardings. So what I mean by wardings is I'll actually take this, and you don't need to activate it. There is no particular activation for it, but what I do is I'll vibrate the name of Asaruludu. Okay, and as I vibrate the name as a mantra, I'll do this 3 times just to feel. I like to feel the power within the elixir before I use it. And I'll take this right here, okay, and I'll go over the actual area and I'll start creating lines with this elixir, okay. And as I do that, I create an actual area that is going to be warded and defended by the power of Asaruludu. So not only that, let's say you have siblings, let's say you have loved ones that you care about. Take some of their jewelry, take some of their amulets, take something that they wear and you know they'll bring with them constantly or wear constantly. Anoint that object and call on the power of Asaruludu just through this elixir, and the wearer of that is going to be protected by Asaruludu. If you have family in the house, if you have children in your house, why not go to their bedroom door, and why not trickle some of this across their bedroom door, across the passages? Okay, you always want to protect passages in your home, all right, and you don't want any of these spirits that you're working with to disturb your children. Okay, you want to keep their space safe, so this is a great option. Not only that, utilizing this in spiritual bathing, you're going to empower your own astral defenses and fortify them and solidify them by one of the greatest spirits when it comes to astral protection. This is perfect if you're under magical attack. This is perfect if you want to also utilize it for in and crossings. I mean, it's just a great elixir all around for safety, for defenses, for just about everything, okay? And if some of you actually want more information on Asaruludu, you can check that out online. It's just a quick internet search, okay? So what I want to talk about specifically is how I used all 3 of these bad boys together, okay? And I'm going to tell you about my experience with this and how incredible it was. So I ran a very, very hot bath, okay? I like to take hot baths, and I love to take what is known as spiritual bathing, okay? Okay, so when I used 3 of these, I actually use them in a spiritual bathing setting. Now, I have various oils that I construct myself. I have various elixirs that I construct myself. Sometimes I use Florida water, sometimes I use all different things. When it comes to spiritual bathing, I use my own salt mixture and different things like that, okay? I used all three together. So what I did was, as I ran this hot bath, right, I actually added in a black bath bomb. And I do this a lot. The reason I do this is because water itself is a scrying medium. Okay, water itself is a spiritual gateway, but it's a scrying medium. All right, and the black mirror is also a scrying medium. That black reflective type of essence. If you can combine both, you're gonna have a hell of an experience. So that's what I did. I took what's known as a hex bomb. It's just a silly gimmick. It's a name for a black bath bomb. Added this into the water, all right, and it had that black reflective essence to it. So I could actually scry into it while I'm lying in it. You can't see any of my body, and you just have this huge scrying surface right in front of you, okay, and all around you. You're sitting in it. It's dope. So I take the Slut Water and I activate it, and all of these, both of these elixirs have activations and have just a plethora of information on it, and I like that. You know, you're not just giving the elixir away, you're giving information on the elixir too, so that's awesome. So I took the elixir, I activated it with the intention of increasing the own sexual primal energies within me, as well as, you know, to activate in this elixir all of the beneficial qualities for my spirit, for my mind, and for my body, from cleansings to you know, purification, to empowerment, to just all these things that this one elixir offers, okay? And then I take this, I added it into the water, all right? And I vibrated the name of Astarte and so forth into that. As I did this, I then took the Apocalypse water. I did the same thing, all right? However, this was with the intention of not only empowerment, but utilizing the storms of change. Not to destroy, not to cause external changes, but to cause the internal changes I wanted to cause within myself, right? I needed a drastic change. I needed a drastic push within my own being, and this provided that, all right? And then, last but not least, Asaruludus Perfect Protection Elixir. I activated this, and I did it by just, it's already activated, but I just vibrated the mantra of Asaruludu. I did a few droplets into the water, all right? And as I laid within the water, I began meditation. As I began meditating, I could feel all the powers of these three elixirs unifying as one. And as I began breathing, I actually began breathing in this energy which seemed to be emanating from the bath itself. And as it began emanating from the bath itself, it began coming all over my body, washing all over me, covering my physical body and my spiritual bodies, okay, as well as my auric field and my energy centers. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the movie Venom, but it was almost like that, you know, like a living symbiosis. It was a symbiote that was alive almost, but it was magical. And it was this fiery energy which covered me. And it was the power of Baal, Asaruludu, Astarte, and the various other entities which helped form this elixir. And I was integrating those energies within my own being with the intention of unpacking, you know, all the monthly gunk, as well as balancing myself, as well as if I had a few bad moments that month actually, and just expelling that from my being, further empowering myself. And something interesting happened. An actual armor was built around me from that energy, an actual astral armor. And this sort of reminded me once again of, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but there's a movie known as The Gods of Egypt, or Egyptian Gods, or something like that. It's something like that. And these gods are seen wearing armor. And there's one god in there at the end, Set, who takes part of all the other gods' armor and adds it to his own. And that's how it almost was. That's how that vision came to me. That's how it personally resonated with my own being. So yeah, there I was sat in this just covered in this astral armor, liberating me, invigorating me, empowering me, enhancing me. And I can now comment that after using these elixirs, not only for myself, not only for my wife, not only for people in my local life, but actually using them in the rituals that I do for my clients, I can give each one of these elixirs a 10 out of 10. I highly recommend them, highly recommend them. Even if right now you see no use for them, which for the life of me, I don't understand how you couldn't. But even if you feel like you don't particularly need them now, I would suggest just getting them. Honestly, every black magician or witch, in my honest opinion, should have these in their toolbox. They really should. They really should. Because they're universal. And that's what my favorite type of products are. Products that are universal. Guys, I have used oils, I have used herbs, I've been sent stuff from other people, and I've checked it out, and when I think is shit, I tell them it's shit, or I tell them that you need to work on this product, so I don't post the video. And so yeah, 10 out of 10 for the Slut Water, 10 out of 10 for the Apocalypse Water. I'm actually going to give a 9.5 to the Asaruludu elixir, only because the only reason is, not because it's not a 10 in my level, because I haven't worked with that elixir to the same extent that I've worked with the other elixirs. So I can't be completely biased and give it a 10 out of 10. Maybe, I think, within time, I'll give it a 10 too. So yeah, brilliant elixirs, must-have tools in my opinion. And they can be utilized regardless of your craft and regardless of your rituals. So brothers and sisters, that's my review on Barbie Garretts 3 elixirs. If you want to check those out, just look into the link of the description of this video, jump over there and check out their elixirs. So yeah, infinite blessings to you all, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye for now.